Pisces. Welcome. And welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. So, if you watched the collective reading, the message from Mother Earth, you'll know that she hijacked your original reading. So here we are. Trying it again. So, we're talking about June. So of course, if you haven't watched that message, I invite you to, but also I started a new series, of readings that are based on your human design profile. So, if you know your profile already, you can just head over to the corresponding number, or you can either Google it, or I provided a link in the description of each one of those videos. So you can just click on one, get your profile, and then head to the right profile. I just, I am obsessed with human design. It's helped me so much in my journey. And it's a different way of receiving messages, and it's a different way of giving messages that are outside of the traditional, zodiac signs, which is still okay, clearly. I mean, that we're doing those too. So anyway, without further ado, we're talking about June. I know last month I did a nine card spread. I don't have the room to do the 9-card spread. Well, I have the room, but it's not going to fit in the frame. So anyway, we're probably going to do like either 2 rows of 3 or 2 rows of 6. 2 rows of 3 cards or 2 rows of 4 cards. Holy moly. All right. So let's get into it. For June, we have the Lovers, the Emperor, Ace of Voices or Ace of Swords, 6 of Voices, Ace of Emotions or Ace of Cups, and 8 of Voices or 8 of Swords. And then we have the 10 of Voices at the bottom of the deck. Stand by. Okay, thank you. So lots of head stuff going on here. We'll just work our way through each card as we do. We start with the Lovers. And the Lovers, of course, it can talk about a relationship. I don't typically do relationship readings, so this isn't going to necessarily be geared towards relationship, but of course, I mean, the literal surface level, it definitely can talk about relationships, but it's relationships in balance. Because the Lovers has to do with the balance of like the masculine, feminine energies. And, the dance that they do. It also talks about making decisions and choices. So it's interesting because we have the 6 of Swords or the 6 of Voices underneath it. And the 6 of Swords talks about moving away from something. Swords have to do with our thoughts and our intellect. So it could just be moving away from an old way of thinking about a situation. It could be leaving, like making a decision to leave a relationship. But there's also almost kind of this like, it seems like there's a decision being made. Like, this figure is kind of like looking over the cliff, quote unquote, right? Just kind of looking over the edge is what I meant to say. This is kind of a cliff. She's at the edge of her finger. But this is also, there's like safe passage. Maybe, you know, if it does have to do with some sort of relationship, whether that's romantic, platonic, business, you know, it's kind of like crossing a bridge. Like, you know, because we have these spikes down here, but really, you know, this figure is providing passage, safe passage at that. This could even be some sort of avoidance, like, I'm kind of getting this message about like avoiding making a decision, because, you know, we have these spikes here and then we have these arms that are kind of going up to a spike also, but there's a lotus on top of it. So again, it's like, you know, the spikes are being, like, you're being protected from those spikes. Very interesting. You know, we have like two figures on either side of the card. So again, you know, there may be some sort of difficulty at like coming to an agreement on something. And maybe somebody doesn't want to concede, because that's almost how this feels. Just the posture of this person, almost like, you know, kind of bowing, or again, like it has this conceding, or yeah, like conceding or concession. There's also kind of this like explorer type energy coming from this card. And then we have the Emperor. The Emperor is the card of Aries, I believe. Yeah, Aries. There could be an Aries in your life, doesn't have to be. I was trying to see, I don't think the Lovers is Gemini. So there could be a Gemini in your surroundings somewhere. Again, doesn't have to be. But the Emperor talks about authority and kind of this like go-getter attitude. There's a bit of like not wanting to budge either, because the Emperor is the divine masculine. So it's, you know, it's the energy, not necessarily the gender. So, you know, just the initiation, like initiating things, and hunter-gatherer, and right, like kind of putting your back into it, like actually, you know, kind of putting in work. Not necessarily budging, because they are the authority. They make the decisions, right? And then the Ace of Cups underneath that. And the Ace of Cups talks about brand new emotion. It's, you know, your cup is full to the point where you are able to share it with other people. And this could be like prioritizing self-care. This could be prioritizing yourself and not budging on that. Like, you know, really kind of getting clear on what your needs are, what your emotional needs are, and, you know, communicating those things, but also like demanding them. Like the bare minimum is that my needs are going to be met. And again, I mean, this can be in relationship, it could be friendship, it could be business, right? I mean, any type of relationship. It doesn't have to strictly be romantic. And then the Ace of Swords here. So it's like you find your voice. There's an owl here. So there's wisdom that comes along with that. It's also, you know, like a new perspective, new inspiration. When we talk about voices, or when we talk about swords, it talks about our mind, about our intellect. It has a lot to do with our ego also, because that's where we hear our ego, right? I say that all the time. So if you watch some of my videos, and yeah, I say that all the time. You know, even this little spotlight or, you know, kind of prism thing here going right to the mind. I mean, this could even be something that comes out of the blue. Like, you know, from this situation here, however this kind of progresses, this could be something new because her head is turned away. So, and then, you know, this beam comes in and kind of strikes her right in the head. So it could be some like realization that kind of comes out of the blue. And, you know, because then we end with the 8 of Swords, or the 8 of Voices in this deck. And that talks about kind of this self-inflicted mind prison situation. It's a little bit victim-y, a little insecure. We, you know, it's kind of like, you know, we think that we're trapped. We don't think that we have control. There's nothing that we can do. Life is against us. You know, life is happening to us. I feel attacked all the time. You know, like that type of thing. But really, that's, you know, that's the story. That's the old shit. That's that ego stuff coming up. And those stories that we've fed ourselves forever, because it would take little effort to change our minds and get out of this energy. Because, I mean, technically, like, it doesn't even really look like she's trapped by any means. And that's the whole message of the 8 of Swords, is like, you think you're trapped, but you're actually not. And it's quite possible that you want to be. Like, you don't want to make a decision. You don't want to move on. You don't want to, whatever. And I'm always, you know, I think that there's so much power in this position also, because, you know, there's so much to be learned in the 8 of Swords. Like, where is that stuff coming from? Where are those stories coming from? Were they, you know, like projections or something that was placed on you by a guardian, a sibling, a friend, you know, some authority somewhere down the road, you know? And if you kind of allow those things to come up, if that feels safe to you or if that feels good to you, then it's kind of like, you know, you can look at it and say, is this mine or not? Like, is this actually something that I believe to be true of myself or of this situation? And if it is not true, like if it is not a true story that you believe of yourself, then it's kind of like, you know, releasing the energy and either sending it back to wherever it came from, or, you know, cleansing it, like setting the intention for it to be cleansed and set out to the ether so that, you know, it can be made available to whoever needs it whenever they need it. It'll be cleansed energy. That's what I do. And then we have the 10 of Voices at the bottom of the deck, the 10 of Swords. So this is completion. Like every thought you could have thought of this situation, it's come up, it's been addressed, it's done. This is the, like, you know, the overanalyzing is complete. It's like stick a fork in me, I'm done type of thing, right? And what's amazing is that we have the 10 of materials, or the 10 of pentacles, right behind that. So right behind all this mind stuff is this beautiful opportunity for abundance and to flourish. Beautiful. I mean, I feel like that was like pretty straight and to the point. So I am going to leave it there. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm so glad we're on this journey together. I'll talk to you soon.